gather to watch films, have discussions afterwards. And, you know, around 2012, with the transition of power, that became more and more of a threatening thing for the government.
Well, what kind of repression did you witness? You've been to the film festival in China.
I've been to the film festival in China. In 2011 was actually the last time I attended that festival in Beijing. And, you know, during a screening, there were not necessarily policemen, but let's say hired thugs who came in, disrupted the screening, started yelling at us, trying to disperse us, trying to get our passports. You know, that was actually pretty easily negotiated disruption. You know, my friends and I just left and we went to get something to eat, honestly, and we came back and were able to resume the screening. That is an extremely light version of what's been happening now.
Do you think there are certain films in particular that upset the government more than others?
Absolutely. There are definitely topics that are tougher to touch as a filmmaker. And of course, those are the political topics. Tibet, you know, Tiananmen Square, Cultural Revolution. The films that we're featuring, the majority of them are not political. They're just great filmmaking. But we do have a couple films that do touch on topics like the Great Famine, which I don't think the government would want shown.
Why do you think it's important to recreate the festival here in New York?
These are incredibly interesting, well-made pieces of cinema. So first and foremost, we just want people to watch these films. Second, as a filmmaker, you don't make a film for yourself. You make it for an audience. And a lot of people will tell you that a film is not complete without an audience. And if the films can't be shown in China, well, we can bring them to New York and show them here.
And you've got 27 films in the festival. How did you choose, you know, which ones to include?
That was a tough choice. We initially thought, well, we'll just recreate the entire festival in New York, and we understood how overwhelming a task that was. And we decided instead to focus on the 3 years that the festival was the most disrupted, the most harassed. And the artistic director of the festival in Beijing suggested that we choose the award winners. So we went with a bit of a compromise, and we chose what we thought were the best films of those 3 years.
You actually brought some of the filmmakers here to the city. You had a Kickstarter campaign to bring them here. How many ended up coming, and what's the experience been like for them?
Yes, that was amazing. The Kickstarter was so much fun, and it was a huge success. You know, we reached our goal in a week, and then we were able to raise even more money. So we got to double the amount of filmmakers we were bringing. I think there will be 7 filmmakers here altogether. So
do you think that's it for the Beijing Festival? Do you think they might try to revive it?
They are trying.
And how can people go see the films here in New York?
Well, I think we have something for everybody. We're at 7 venues here, and we have some great films coming up. We're at Asia Society. Museum of Modern Art is not officially a part of the series, but they are premiering a week-long run of The Iron Ministry by J.P. Sniadecki, and that starts Friday, August 21st. That's a fantastic film. And then in September, we have screenings at Columbia University, at Union Docs, which is a great documentary arts venue in Williamsburg, and also at the Museum of Chinese in America.
And the website people can go to is?
www.cinemaontheedge.com.
Karen Qian is an independent filmmaker and co-founder of Cinema on the Edge, which runs through September 13th. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
This is WNYC.
Support for NPR comes from WNYC members and from the Kresge Foundation, expanding opportunities in America's cities through grant-making and social investing. More at Kresge.org. And the Wallace Foundation, a source of ideas for improving education and enrichment for children, both in and out of school. More information is available at wallacefoundation.org.
Stay tuned now for the Marketplace Morning Report. It's coming up next. That'll be followed at 9 o'clock by the BBC's News Hour on 93.9 FM. The BBC will have more on Europe's migrant crisis, where British police are to patrol in France, and a look at why so many people are leaving one of Africa's richest, most stable countries. On AMA 20 at 9 o'clock, The Takeaway talks to California Governor Jerry Brown about fighting the state's wildfires.